So here we are at the Secrest Welcome Center, and I'm just kind of showing you the orientation plaza and some of the things that are here. We're going to try to do a couple-minute video of the tour for Secrest, the field trip, if you will. I'm going to try to keep this short, just give yourselves a little walk so you can see that there's not a lot going on right now. It is the end of March. I know this would have been in April for our field trip, but I had some time. It's a beautiful day outside. You can see some fruit. We have about 140 different species of birds that utilize the Arboretum as a nesting site or where they make their homes. So there are a large number of animals that live here. There are foxes and possum. There are squirrels, chipmunks, all kinds of different things make their home here. We are seeing a few things just starting to flower. For example, here's a witch hazel. It's actually kind of finishing up. It's flowering at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna walk on a little bit further and I'll pick this up inside of what we call the collector's garden. And I'm standing at a place here where you can see this large evergreen. It's kind of weeping. And in the background, there's a very tall, skinny, deciduous plant. I'd like to talk a little bit about this particular weeping evergreen, because evergreens, or actually all plants, have the ability, here's another weeping plant, they all have the ability to sense gravity. And these guys that are weeping like this, they've lost that ability. So as they grow, they have this genetic mutation that cannot sense gravity. And that's why, there's that evergreen again, that's why they droop down, because they do not have the ability to sense gravity. Another one of the witch hazels, this one happens to be called Arnold's Promise, and it has a very nice flower to it. It's been flowering for several weeks now. It flowers very early. It is, remember when we were talking about growing degree days? This particular plant has about 50 growing degree days that it senses before it goes into flower. So that's really not very many. And that's one of the reasons that they flower so early. You can sometimes find these flowering in February, which they were this year because we started warming so quickly. So it's kind of nice to be walking around on what is otherwise a somewhat gloomy day. It's not a clear blue sky like we were the other day. It's a somewhat gloomy day. And find this bright yellow plant in spots in the Arboretum. This one happens to be water garden. I'm going to kind of slow down, pan around here. You can see some ornamental grasses in the background. You can probably hear birds chirping. If I zoom slowly up there, I can see this guy. This guy is the one that's making all the noise right now. I don't know what it is. I know a lot about plants. I don't know much about birds. One of you guys knows what it is, please let me know. But here's our water feature. In the summertime you can come and you can often find goldfish and frogs. In fact, there's the goldfish. Looking a little chilly. But sometimes you can find frogs and other things coming here. Usually there's water lilies and things. It's a lot more active than it is right now, actually. But it is a nice place. They've got benches all around for you to come and sit and relax. Sometimes we do find some strange things here in the Arboretum, and here's a random pair of sunglasses. Another witch hazel. This one is a little bit more orange yellow. Kind of let me zoom in on that so you can see they have these really funky flowers, but they're very pretty. Many of them have a scent. This one is called Diane. It doesn't really have much of a smell to it. An Arboretum is really a collection of plants. It's a museum of sorts for plants. So here's one of the weird ones. This one is called umbrella pine. If I kind of zoom in on it a little bit, you can sort of see why it's called that, with the needles held in kind of these round clusters. But it's one of the plants that's kind of rare or unusual or different. If we kind of look around, there's not a whole lot going on, but you'll see daffodils coming up. You'll see different trees and everything. Lots of times planted in such a way that there's pathways so people can walk and enjoy different things within the Arboretum. But it really is kind of a museum, an interactive museum, if you will, for people to come out and look and browse and learn. You will hopefully see some signage. You will hopefully see some things that are explaining what's happening. But please, if you get the opportunity, bring your dog, bring your family, come out to the Arboretum and enjoy what it has to offer. A little funny story in the hysteria that happens to be happening all over the world. The remains of this plant, which is a semi-evergreen called lamb's ear, it's not looking that great at this time of year. Do a Google search for it. You'll find it's actually kind of a cool looking, really fuzzy, very, very soft plant. And in the hysteria that we are happening right now with toilet paper, this plant actually could be used as a toilet paper if you're ever lost in the wild or in the woods or in the Arboretum and you can't get into a bathroom. Here is a natural toilet paper. Also happens to make a great natural Band-Aid. It has some natural antiseptic properties, and it's very absorbent. So great Band-Aid, nice little piece of toilet paper if you're in the wild. Don't use poison ivy. Use lamb's ear instead. Kind of going through the shade tree plot at the moment, which is just an evaluation of trees for urban areas. It's probably hard to see on the video, but some of them have bands around them. You can kind of see there this band. That is to measure expansion and contraction of the trunk as the plant grows. If you look off in the distance, I might have to pull up. I'm still in my car. There, you can see them right there. These are the world's most expensive rain gauges, measuring every aspect of the rain and the water and things that are happening along in the soil. This is a really bad angle because the sun's kind of right shining, but hopefully you can see right here these really weird skinny trees. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit. There, look at these weirdo trees. This is another cultivar of a white fir, and oh, that's a little bit better. The camera cleaned it up a little bit. And these ones are called spiral firs. And there's about 8 of them that are in the entire world, and we happen to have 2 of them here in the Arboretum. So like I said, there's a lot of really cool things. Come out with your friends, bring your dog, take a walk. It's a great place for a hike. I'm driving my car here for a couple of minutes, and I'll kind of go slowly as I take some video of some other areas of the Arboretum. There are pathways through all of this. There's a children's play area back in there. There's a little pavilion back in there that you can go in. You'll often see a lot of dogs walking around through here. I'll zoom back out again so you guys can see a bit more as I'm driving through here. Well, you can see the pathways, people walking on the pathways. There's some groves of trees back there. There are some more grass pathways if you walk back in through there. The Arboretum is about 130 acres or so. So I highly recommend you come out and do some exploring. It's really not necessarily the best time right now, but if you're able to come out in May, there's lots and lots of cool stuff going on, and you'll see a lot more flowering than you will right now. Can you see these great big huge pyramidal evergreens? They just look like these giant monster Christmas trees. This is some of the weirdo plants that I was talking about as a kind of a museum collection of plants in the Arboretum. These ones happen to be pyramidal white firs, and so it's kind of weird that we have these strange objects here at the Arboretum.